Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing some blue-white control. Just as a channel update real quick, I've just been very busy the last 2 weeks and it's made it hard to kind of upload every day for me. Working a full-time job and trying to do this and edit and do all the stuff myself does take a lot of time for me personally, and also like I had a lot of videos planned and then Leyline got banned right before Vegas, and then our invitational happened to follow Vegas. So I was kind of conflicted with a lot of that stuff. I had a lot to do. But with that said, we are playing blue-white control today, and this deck felt good for the first time in a long time. Control actually feels like I can play it and not get laughed at. Main reason why is temporary lockdown pretty much gets everything in the mono red decks outside of Screaming Nemesis, which is why I argue if you're playing red, you should probably be playing Nemesis, because temporary lockdown is going to be a main boarded card, or like a mainstay in these decks all the time. So if you keep losing to the card, maybe we play a card that doesn't get exiled underneath it. So other than that, we have temporary lockdowns. There's 3 of them in the deck. We have some card draw to find it, like Quick Study and Spellgyre, if we need to use that. And even 3 steps ahead oftentimes could be used as a draw engine. And then we put Teferi, Temporal Pilgrim in here. This is probably one of my favorite planeswalkers to play. I love the way it functions, and the spirits get out of control very quickly, as you'll see in one of the matches in today's video, that they get very big very fast. And using a card like 3 steps ahead with Teferi is super nice for me, because you can make a token copy of the token, so you get kind of 2 of these little spirits in play, and then you can also use the draw effect on here, which will then almost indefinitely make them massive and unremovable by any damage mean. But other than that, we have a lot of kind of removal or kind of setback type effects whenever it comes to Elspeth Smite on turn 1 or turn 2. Hopefully that's when we have this, and then we don't really see it after that. And then we have Into the Flood Maw to kind of set them back for a turn. Soul Partition to make it more expensive to maybe get more value off our No More Lives in a later turn. Also, sometimes on our end step, depending what our opponent does, if they play a lot of creatures and then they recommit, bunnies would be a good example of this. We can actually just bounce our own temporary lockdown and then replay it. It doesn't make our spells cost anymore. So we bounce our lockdown, give them all their stuff back, and then we'll just recast the lockdown, then exile the new stuff they played and the old stuff that we already had in lockdown, and have a good time with that. Outside of that, we have a closer in this deck. I know Control having a closer is insane. Control can never play a closer. But with that said, we have Horned Loch-Whale. We have a 2 mana kind of return a creature, and then later in the game on an end step we can flash this in. It has ward 2, so it kind of is a little bit it's a little bit too big for like nowhere to run to get rid of. They have to have 2, or they have to have some type of effect after they've played a nowhere to run, and that nowhere to run will probably have no value that it got on that previous turn. So they'll have to figure out how to get the Horned Loch-Whale off the battlefield with the ward 2 as well. And then of course, like, that gives No More Lives a lot more value in those late game scenarios where No More Lives typically would never be able to counter anything, but we can get it to do so then. Outside of that, we just have 2 anchorages as win condition demo fields to make sure we can find our basics to turn on our verges whenever that's necessary, and force surveillance. Not too crazy on the creature lands in this deck for right now, but with that said, I hope we can just have a good time. I'm a little tired in the video, as you'll be able to tell by game 1. I wake up a bit, you know, I get to it after a while. But with that said, hope you all enjoy, and if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing. Let's head out there in game. Oh, my opponent gets to go first, bro. Very cool. All right, I mean, the amount of removal we have is insane, so we'll keep. Okay. So most likely it's Golgari Demons, if I had to guess. Unholy Annex would be rather annoying, but we'll just have to hit it with a Get Lost. Or we'll have to hit that with that. I'm not sure. Man, that's gonna suck. We'll pop it now. The reason we pop it now is because I think they'll potentially put the Overlord in play, and I'd rather them not draw any more cards. Sure. Soul Partition is probably take if I had to guess. And they missed a land. Alright. We'll do this now. Pull one of them out of the deck. It's not like I'm in maxing by any stretch, but can't imagine for double green they have anything actually to do. And I don't have any interaction to hold up, so now would be the time to do it. Maybe miss a land. We have a Teferi. We just gotta hope they don't end up ripping another duress or something. That'd be the worst part. They could also have like something like Bitter Triumph or something. There's a Glissa. Sure. We'll be mana efficient. We'll time walk them here. No, it's not actually a time walk, but you know what I'm saying. Do this.
Faced with tragedy, even
I have a temporary lockdown, so I don't even know if I necessarily want to make a dude, but I'm going to.
Who's that handsome devil?
We got listen number 2. Nice. No land to follow and a hard counter spell for us. And the mana to cast it all. So that's pretty sick.
Much to consider.
And this is only target attacking creature. And I don't want them to draw it anyway, so we'll pass. We could demo field this at some point. Well, we'll demo field that, I guess. We allow that to resolve. Then we can do a cool trick here. That's fine. The graveyard that, okay. You can put that back. And then we'll sack this demo field, which will shuffle away irregardless, I guess. They put it on bottom, but I had planned to do this one regardless of what they chose. But we're just going to go grab an island. You know what we want here. I guess it's the only option. LOL. We have a lot of counter magic. So we have a lot of interaction held up. And the Horned Loch-Whale. So I guess I just make a dude. We try to do it while Golgari's struggling a bit to get their mana out and play more than one spell a turn. Clear Acklazotz. Let's see it. 4 mana Terra Sunder will get hit with this No More Lies. That's for sure. Pass. Just gonna hold my counter spell up. Another Horned Loch-Whale Sheath. We'll draw, and then we will hit them for 4. And then we'll pass. We're doing what control does best. Well, obviously they staggered a bit, so that's kind of a problem. But other than that, yeah, we were just in there. No More Lies not held up anymore, so I don't even feel the need to flash in this Horned Loch-Whale. Too much value now. This one creature's going to close out the game. The thing you got to do with control sometimes is not over evaluate your position, even if it is really good for you. There's an Anoint. We could counter that, but again, I don't care. That's the thing, is like, you just don't care about any of it, you know? Let it all go. We'll get there eventually. With only one counter spell, I felt like obligated to protect it. Huh. Stop for a quick study. There's a pawns there. It could be the demo field, but I guess if they answered Teferi, I'm okay with it. Which most likely I feel like they're going to answer Teferi here. Or they're going to go for that. That's fine. Could have Sunfall, but we don't care at that point. Like a dude. Could have played this, I guess. Well, no. I actually wanted the untap lane because that allows me to flash in Loch-Whale and hold up counterspell. That's right. I knew I did it for a reason. I was like, an untap source in my head I always said was nice. That's only a white. These get lost on that. I mean, sure. We're just wanting to protect what we have in play. It's lethal enough. Counter that. Yeah. He might have hidden no more lines, but let's see. Yeah. All right. Cool. I was just like, I don't know what cards of mine they were gonna hit, so yeah, we end up getting there. Very cool. Followed up. All right, my opponent goes first. We have a lockdown to recover. Our no more lives might be able to stagger. We have a Jace to probably draw some cards, or draw a card and then maybe die. Who knows? Depends what we're against. They take a Maw. Yeah, we're gonna need some temporary lockdown. I know that. Let's play this out. We do have a lot of basic islands, so it could be possible to no more lives turns on without doing much damage to us. Am I dead? No. I don't think. Anyway. I take 3. Man, my eye is like, there's something in my eye. It was like their last game we just played, but it hadn't like got there yet. So I've been like thinking about it this entire time. It's really annoying. I think they have something like a Monstrous Rage or a Turn Inside Out that they're hoping to use to get more value. And I don't really care if they cast a thing. I'm just gonna, I guess, let that happen. Let them put whatever they want on it. Oh, they did have the Turn Inside Out. I'm gonna put this in your suspend zone. I don't know. Soul Partition is so good against red for stuff like this. Because now it just goes into exile and doesn't die. I think that's what they're reading, to potentially fire off another one at it. We'll play a really sad demo field here. Never really gonna have a target in this match. Unless they surprise me and they play like a Gruul land or something. We'll take our draw here. I'll take my 1 damage. It's fine. Don't worry. I have another Verge and another Verge. Oh yeah, we're bottlenecked on blue now. My favorite way to play Magic the Gathering. My 2-colored land unable to be turned on. And I draw every one of them. Nice, nice, nice. Can I demo field my own land? I know that answer. I know I cannot. I just... Sometimes the game can be a bit silly, if you would. I don't think, right? Yeah. Gotta be a non-basic land my opponent controls. I will counter this, and then they'll go for Slick Shot, and then I'll Soul Partition the Slick Shot. I have white mana in a demo field, because you're rude enough not to play any. Dude, where's the black land at? Where's my fling players at? Yeah, but now we turn them all on. That card on top's really, really good. I could play Jace for a bit cheaper here, but I feel like that's just putting me in a vulnerable spot that I don't need to be in. Like, I can just wait till next turn and then just play it, right? That can resolve. Yeah, I'm gonna Soul Partition that. I want them to have to spend 3 mana for every spell that they want to play. Because then it just slows them down to such a gross crawl in the game. This one. Here we definitely got to make sure that we're doing that. Because if not, Arena will leave it open so we can blow up a non-land. There's a land, and they do play a black land. Every time, dude. Look at that. There it is. Demo fields were primed and ready. Sure. Yep.
Surrender is simpler.
Oh, very cool. I could just lock down here now that I drew a second one. I can also just like plus on this thing. Weird, silly, fun game we're having, huh? I feel like I've played a little bit more aggressively than I did just the last game I played, and I feel like it's making this game a lot harder on me. But my opponent's also like doing 1 spell a turn. I'm way more worried about whenever they're firing off a ton of spells at once. Jace a lot of times here is a card I don't think we necessarily protect all too well. So this is 1 damage. Sure. Yeah. I used a whole spell to put it back down to 2. That's sick. Sure. If you're not ready to play control, don't watch this video, I guess. I just don't have to budge. I don't have to do anything. I really wish they would hit a land so they start putting stuff on the battlefield. There we go. Yeah, this negative 2/2 is really something, you know. Flipping? Oh, very nice. That's fine. Here's the weird part is I want to demo field this because at this point I want to deck then a bit. I know it's not much, but like getting lands out of the deck to ensure that every card I draw is a spell from here on out is really all I need. So it's kind of like that weird balance. Island. Yeah. Well, with that said, I drew a land, so we need to find our Teferi or something, and there's another land. All right, my bad. Shouldn't have deck thinned. That's on me. I should have known that's how it was gonna work. Plus, that goes to 0. A little part of me wants to just lock this down, but I just don't know if there's a reason to. Like, is it 0? I can counter spells. I personally don't even care if Jace dies. Like, you know what I mean? And there's the scam. That's all we need. And now temporary lockdown feels great. All right, man. I'm sorry for deck thinning. Like, relax. Fire that off. I went and got a land, said, "Wow, I really want to thin the lands out of the deck," and then I've drawn 4 straight. So, or 3 or 4. No, because I got a land, so it's like 3 straight. Very sick. Very sick. Exactly as I drew it up. We will have to get value out of this No More lines soon because they're actually hitting their land drops now. So we have to do it before we get to that point. Sure. This is where we find our No More lines value. Listen to me, Dad. I want to demo field this Springs. And if it punishes me and I draw more lands, I will lose my mind. It'll be 5 lands that we've gotten out of the deck in the last 3 turns. Which is fine. It just is what it is. Island. Now no more demo field. They never really play creature lands, so I don't have to necessarily worry about that. We're gonna take a Scry or Surveil to draw 2. Listen, I like lands. Don't need that one. There is a point in which, for us, there is too many lands. And see, we drew another one, like just like we knew we would, you know? Plus here. And then we can Horned Loch-Whale and then flash it in the same turn, so it doesn't really matter. Adventure Zone has no restriction on when a card enters and can leave, unlike plotting. Plotting, you have to cast it in on a different turn than you plotted. It's the only one I kind of care about. Yeah, it works out. The reason we're doing this so we can just offload the demo field maybe, or another land. Yeah, demo field can definitely go here. And then we have what, 29 cards left to 34. We haven't even drawn many more cards in them. That's actually crazy. We're both already halfway through our deck. Yeah. Sure, dude. Yeah. I'm looking to counter spells. This is why we're doing this. If I let this Slick Shot show off resolve, it kind of implies we might not have a counter spell. We could have interaction though. Yeah. Yeah. All right. This one. Here's my 6/6. Now, when I counter this spell, I can do some stupid stuff. Let's lockdown. More lockdown for more games, for more people. The reason the 3 steps ahead is good here is because we can copy a Horned Loch-Whale once we counter a thing. So we're going to hit him for 6, set him to 14, and then we can set him to 2 on the following turn. Because this has a create a token that's a copy of an artifact or a creature we control, and we don't have to pay the ward cost. So very sick. We go first. Very cool. We have the Smite. We got Demolition. Having Demolition and being on the play is kind of wild. Like it's it's weird to say it's the control like crazy hand, but having this up on turn 2 for a lot of the interaction we need it up for. Oh yes. And we're gonna have it in. Oh boy. There we go. All right, we're ready. We got no more lines. We got Soul Partition. That one's mine. All right, another no more lies. Perfect. We don't have to use our 3 steps ahead. Because again, the thing with no more lies is like you have to kind of get the value while you can with that card. Ooh. Well, maybe we should have drawn with 3 steps ahead. But I'll go for it now if the opportunity arises. No. Put that back. All right, we find a land. Now I don't have to freak out. I'm gonna let that go, I think. What we got? Got another Nimmy boy. Got him. Not often that you get to play against red and be at 20 on turn like 5. So that's pretty cool. All right. I do think I need to draw though. I feel like they're running low on creatures regardless. They probably have some shocks and some lightning strikes in hand. No more lies seems bad anymore. Yeah, because like the only thing it counters now is like a screaming nemesis, so I guess I'd let it go. Find a land, which is like what I was afraid of, because no more lies could have been held up with a quick study, so I could counter something and still draw 2, but we're going to take the opportunity here to get through this. And we will have to at some point worry about the burn, and our planeswalkers will as well. So like if we ever play a Jace and we minus it, it's most likely getting hit. Temp lockdown pretty good. Flood Maw, a very good card to follow up. Surveil land, probably the best land for us to hit here. It doesn't allow us to hold this and this up, but getting the information now is the game we're seeking to play. Although after playing game 1 to now, I can definitely feel myself becoming more awake. Just been running ragged, working a lot and stuff, but here we are. Would they play a random red flash creature? Wouldn't that be gross? I assume it's just burn. And at some point, they got to make the decision whether they're going to use the burn to try to win the game or not. Standard, when foundations come out, burn will be a very, very real win condition with 1 mana bolt effects. It can't target everything, but you know. Counterspell, bounce spells. And I have one on top that I already want. Typically, when I play control, and this could be wrong, any of the control mages out there can yell at me if it is wrong. If there's a card on top that I already want, then I don't think I want to invest this just to keep the 1 card on top and then manipulate the other one and put 2 in my hand. I'd much rather have 4 counterspells for a situation like this. They're at 6 mana, so the No More Lies play was probably the correct choice, because the only time No More Lies would be available is here. And that's because they paid for their 2 mana spell, they paid 4, which is not always a guarantee. Some opponents won't. I think it's right to do that, but not everybody will. Could have even let it resolve, I guess. But the problem is if they played the hasty 2-drop, then I would have be... Well, then I guess I would just counter it, right? I don't know. I have lockdown, and getting value off lockdown on a card that doesn't have haste feels good. Then that puts me in a weird bind. Yeah, because if I didn't hit that land, then I wouldn't be able to have 4 mana up for my counter spells. So it's, I guess it would be slightly wrong. But hitting a land there now makes me wish I did the lockdown play. All right. You might fire one of these off to surveil and draw 2, but I just don't know if I need to. Yeah, how many no more lives have we gone through? 3. Okay, so we don't have that kind of dead draw coming ever. We don't have any more quick studies in the deck. Yeah, so these counter spells that we have in our hand are actually pretty valuable. That's the problem we're gonna run into here. Yeah, I mean, I think our hand's just fine, right? Also, the next creature they resolve, we're probably gonna let resolve because we need to get value off Soul Partition, Flood Maw. We need to have them just use some of their resources in hand. It's like if we don't, then I feel like we're gonna end up losing just over the battle of how many like effective cards we have. Because again, sorcery speed, stall card only kind of puts back in hand. So like a higher call here, 100% we just let go. Maybe now they feel like, yeah, sure. Let that resolve, and maybe they felt like the door was open. So we just kind of sit here. If we can get value off this temporary lockdown, like I said, I'm going to. I might even just use our life total as a resource here. Let's see what happens. Sure. Yeah, I'm not going to bounce. I'm going to take the damage. I want them to play this other card so I can lock it up. The only fear of this, by the way, is that it does put us like a little bit more viable to dying to burn. So there's something we have to take. We have to be pretty cautious of that. But now the card advantage machine is a lot more kind of catered down to us, and they've been holding creatures to try to get multiple on the stack at once. This is definitely a time where we'd be vulnerable to it. And now I drew a three steps ahead. We're gonna try to surveil and trying to draw some cards here. I get hit with a couple burn spells. Yep. That's what I was talking about. One of the hard parts is just like taking that hit puts us way more viable. Alright, I didn't realize it was gonna be 3 lightning strikes. My bad, brother. Honestly, both those draws aren't bad. Now we're just dead to shocks. Maybe I shouldn't have taken the hit. I was trying to just get value off my card. This is just kind of a wild thing to happen, huh?
I'll take note of all your.
We need to find our goofy boys, and there's one of them. Now, pretty much we're in full prevent. We just have to hope that out of the top half of their deck, the rest of, I mean, they only have 1 more shock left, but they do have 4 play with fires in the deck. Screaming Nemesis is kind of annoying. We can make it cost at 5 mana with Soul Partitioning it. We can get lost some stuff. The only real fear is like haste creatures. We can even do something stupid is like Soul Partition or lockdown to replay our lockdown in a situation where that matters. But now we'll never go a turn without holding up a counter spell. That's our goal, at least. I knew I drew a card before having the Teferi come in, but it was just something I felt like we needed to get full information before acting. Alright, so they have some amount of burn. 3 is a super dangerous life total to be at because they can kill us in response to counter spells. This is our most risky turn, by the way. This right here. This is where we find ourselves most vulnerable. I mean, yeah, I guess. Teferi's at 2. That's got Prowess. I guess I just get lost this. Or you just bounce it to their hand, I guess. Get value off my Flood Maw. Oh no, then they just recast it. I guess I just bounce like a Screaming Nemesis or something if they play it post combat here. The only card I'm scared of them using the map tokens on is like the Emberheart Challenger, because it's the only one that gets value really. But yeah, no life gain really in the deck, so that's gone. With Stalker Frenzy going to body my spirit, which is fine. I'm perfectly okay with that. I'll take my turn. Again, never letting this counter spell down. It's just not happening. Then we'll make another dude. Because again, we do need to close the game, and we have 2 hard counter spells up. And they only have 2 cards left. There's only so much burn that they can have at any one given time, and we have 5 toughness on the board with the Anchorage and like the Spirit. Well, that's got to be countered. Then I can also draw here. So, all right, how much is this? This is 5, 6, 7, 8. How much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. And then I can do that as well. Yeah, sweet. I'm not dead to like both Lightning Strike and Shock, I guess. Yes, that works. Why 3 steps ahead is like the best cancel of all time. 3 mana. Also make a copy of a token if you need to later, and then also draw 2 cards. So we're gonna have like 10 damage on board immediately. And then I'll just discard the land, and now we have multiple more counter spells held up. And they're getting hit for 12 this turn. We might even find like a lethal route. And I only die if I tap out, so I will not be doing that. The thing, like, is it possible I have lethal here? So I have, let's draw. So I go up to 12. I have a little bit more here for 14. I can draw another card.
Much to consider.
Or I can just like hold, I guess. Unless it's just lethal. That's the problem. If it's just lethal, I feel like killing them makes sense. 18, and then this draws as well. But then I have no counterspell, and I could still die. I guess I just do this. I can do lethal while also protecting my life total, I guess. I can bring up the Anchorage and then draw with the, like the Spellgyre and have the 3 steps ahead. Which can draw while countering a spell, so it's always nice. The boss. Okay, 3 lands. Interesting. So weird to see this, like the token get a different kind of copy here. What's up? I can make a copy at 4, 5, 6. Yeah. This is 14, 15, 16. Drawing 2 will be a +4, so it'll be lethal. Yeah, so we just Spellgyre and draw 2. Surveil 2, draw 2, and then hold the 3 steps ahead as a counter spell. Okay. Here. Surveil 2, draw 2. Alright. A lot of loyalty, a lot of counters. Exactly 20. Oh, fair enough. Nice. I'll just raise the other one. Respectable. That's really funny. But yeah, I mean, the Elspeth Smite onto a hasty Swiss Spear, like if it was one of the dorks that like do something when they die, like I don't think our hand curves out as well as it did. That's like the random part when you play against aggro, is like it's not necessarily you have to draw well sometimes your hand has to curve well with your opponent's hand, and it's just like ours did that, so we end up coming out on top. All right, so here we are. We played some control. The games took way longer than I thought they were going to. I am very exhausted. I did a lot of stuff this weekend and past weekend. I was in Vegas and we ran our own $20,000 invitational, which required like more 12-hour days, which is like fine. You know, it's part of the grind. We love it. But at the same time, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I go, wow, I got to record and I am really tired. Like, but that is what it is. I didn't record last night because I could feel the misplays coming, to be honest. But with that said, we played Control today. It curved out really, really well on a lot of games. The only thing that I will say is that we are oftentimes against aggro, even though we played a couple games against it and we did pretty well. Is we're pretty reliant on the lockdown to kind of rebound us if we're ever on the draw there. I think the one game we would have had a lot more problems. Of course, we had the lockdown, but we had a lot more problems when we weren't able to curve a smite directly into a No More Lies. That felt so good because we were on the play, and of course they played a Swiss Spear, so then the smite got a lot of value. But like same could be said with the Flood Maw or whatever. With that said, I mean, it felt fun. It was pretty good. Control for a while has not felt playable because again, when your opponent's on the play, and at the time they were able, not even if they won the game, they were able to flash in that ley line and then put you super far down and just burn spells. When you find yourself against a primarily like creature prowess deck and you have to counter a shock or you die, you're just losing that game for the most part because you'll never find an out, especially when we don't have any life gain in the deck. With that said, that's going to do it for me here. I'm going to try to get back to uploading every day. I have not been doing that. I underestimated the amount of, well, I mean, Leyline also got banned the day before I left for Vegas. So I was recording. That changed a lot of things. So I haven't been uploading. I don't think I've uploaded a week straight in like a very long time, which is tough. So, you know, I'll try to get back to that, but work full time and things like that causes problems as well. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed regardless, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching and goodbye.